Alright, what's up YouTube? Joseph here, and I'm giving you guys a blast from the past Harpie deck profile from between September of 2012 to March of 2013. Pretty much 2 months right before we got Lord of Tachyon Galaxy in TCG and the rise of the Harpie ladies. Now, I cannot stress this enough. All these cards, I not only had to find, but I had to go look up the ban list from between 2012 of September to 2013 of March. So, you guys are going to get a really big blast from the past. And trust me, I did not have a lot of these cards. You know, most people would say, hey, don't you have like this, and this? No. No matter how many reprints there were, most cards I did not own at the time. So, you will be seeing a lot of, what, and, you ran that type of situation. So, let's get into this deck profile, and trust me, you guys will be very surprised. So, let's start with the Harpies. We have Triple Harpie Lady 1, who gave the additional attack power to all wind monsters on the board. Then we had Harpie Queen. Discard her from your hand, add Harpie Sunny Ground from your deck to your hand. 2 Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon. And that was it. That was my Harpie lineup. Now, I can say that I did use either Cyber Harpie or Harpie Lady Sisters in the deck profile. In the deck. And that's primarily just to have an egotist target, so that Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon had additional support or additional effects going on. In most late terms, remember, we did not get Harpie Channeler till May of 2013, and we did not get Harpie Dancer till October of 2013. So, we were still on that can't wait till those cards come out hype. So, that is the Harpie lineup. For the rest of the supporting cast, we have 1 Mist Valley Soldier and 1 Mist Valley Shaman. These 2 tuners assisted me in many of Synchro summons, and we did have a little bit of exceeds, I'm not gonna lie, but most of my exceed summons did not come out of these 2, because these 2 were primarily built on making sure that I had the lineup to Synchro summon. Following them, I ran 1 Zephyros the Elite, who was still relatively good for bouncing stuff back and putting stuff back in my hand. 1 Dragunity Dark Spear, distributing him to such summon a Winged Beast monster. I can control my graveyard and either synchro with him or synchro with the monster I marked out in case I do get Mist Valley Soldier from the graveyard or Zephyros the Elite. 2 Flying Kamakiri, number 1. And this was pretty much to get Harpie Lady on the board, Mist Valley Shaman, Dragunity Dark Spear, or Harpie's Pet Baby Dragons. And of course, it wasn't a problem ramming these guys into monsters to get those monsters out, especially Harpie Lady, so I can blow up back row. 2 Summoner Monk, and the last monster in the deck. There were a ton of spells in the game that I ended up discarding to make this happen. And of course, what other synchro fodder would you love to have than a Summoner Monk? So, that is the monster lineup. For the spells, we're rocking Triple Harpie's Hunting Ground. And despite what you may think, this was a staple because most of the decks at the time were becoming Fire Fist, and you needed the additional support to help you deal with Fire Fist, because you needed to blow up that back row to make sure that your monsters did not have any surprise factors coming in. Likewise, 2 Elegant Egotists. Although I did not run most versions of this deck that I ran did not run Harpie Sisters, I still had Harpie Queen to go get Harpie Lady. Swallow's Nest also assisted in that factor, so that I can swap out Winged Beast monsters for Harpie Ladies and vice versa. Next, For the supporting cast, we have double MST because remember, there's only 6 Harpies in this deck, and even though we had Harpies hunting ground, I wanted to make sure that I was blowing up stuff, and just in case I had to blow up my own cards, MST wasn't too bad of a fodder. Then, one zone, or Z1 if most people want to call it that. Whenever this card was on your field that was set, is destroyed by a card effect. You can have one field spell or one continuous spell from your deck to your hand. This became very useful to me when we got Tachyon, but during the time it was out, it was a very good combination card with Harpie's Hunting Ground, because if you had another Hunting Ground in the graveyard, you can just pop this and then get it right back. We did not get really good continuous spells till Sign. Next. A lot of one-ups and some blasts from the past. 1 Dark Hole, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Pot of Avarice, and 1 Monster Reborn. And if I had it, it'd be Mind Control next to this as well. Because these 5 cards were really pretty much part of most of the decks in the game. If you ran a heavy monster counter deck, you run a Pot of Avarice so that you can recycle a lot of your monsters. Monster Reborn was just good in any deck. Dark Hole, Field Clearance, and Book of Moon, although it was at 1, was still a relevant card at that time. On to the traps. There was no triple party, there was only 2, even though you had 1, 2, 3, technically 6 targets. Not till Harpie Chandler was it ever moved up to 3. Anti-Spell Fragrance, still a sufficient card for Harpies. This really did slow down a ton of meta at the time because most of the decks were very heavy spells and really well against Fire Fist, which was the high deck at the time, because you could not set your you had to set your Tinkies, your Tinsus, and with Harpie's Hunting Ground in combination, you were popping them left and right. Next, Breakthrough Skill. And yes, I had to look this up. I didn't think Breakthrough Skill was in Cosmo Blazer, and I found out it was, because mine are gold, and I didn't really think that. I did end up looking it up to make sure. I think they were either Ultra or Ultimate when they came out in Cosmo Blazer, but I probably didn't have them at the time, or I did have them and they were just really, really cheap because no one was really using them, because background destruction was really thing, because there was one more spell that was actually unbanned that I didn't use in the Harpies. I think I ended up citing, and that was Heavy Storm. So, yeah. And then all my one-ups were Solid Warning, Solid Judgment, Bottomless Trap Hole, and Compulsory Evacuation Device. Now let's get on to the extra deck, and the extra deck is going to be one hysterical laugh. Now, mind you, Cosmo Blazer came out, at least one good thing was good for Harpies at that time, and that was Triple Lightning Chidori. Okay, yes, and that was Triple Lightning Chidori. And when Cosmo Blazer first came out, this card was hype. And yes, it was because of Harpie ladies. And the thing about it was, even the Fire Fist were using it. Now, Reborn Tengu was at the time at 2. So what they ran was Ninkendog, the level 4 18 monster that they were actually and ironically ran. What's that monster? Oh, Rescue Rabbit, to not only special summon it from the deck, but they made Lightning Jewelry to deal with back row that was threatening them. The other thing about Lightning Jewelry is, of course, when it succeeds summon, you can send set cards from on your opponent's side of the field to them out of their deck. So in the combination that the Harpies ran anti-spell, it became a really good and useful card to the deck. Next, these are a lot of one-offs, and that's primarily because clearly I did not have a lot of stuff, and there's only one proxy in the deck. That's because I found out I didn't own a specific card, but one Papal Operative, and she was really good against what is it? Oh, well, I was gonna say Madolce, but she wasn't good against Madolce. I think that was you use this against Marshmallow and Spirit Reapers that were still in play. And the funny thing about Spirit Reaper was that Spirit Reaper did not get destroyed, but he became a big target. So you could just bam into the Spirit Reapers with the Pablo Operative. You had one Maestro who was not only a defensive wall, but he was pretty much pre 101 sign on art. Then one guy got Cowboy because he had just came out in Abyss Rising and was doing really well. One Abyss Dweller for the second pot of Avarice, and Dweller was actually out during this time, or I think so. I have to check that, but I'm not really sure. But he was in the deck, and one Black Ship of Corn, and Black Ship was really much to deal with anything that you couldn't destroy. So what you would do was you would send it, and this time wind up may have not been in, but Torgai was still around, and she was still an issue because most people were running stuff like, hmm, was it Chaos that was still around? I know it wasn't Insectors because they were dead at that point. I can't remember exactly what card, but I know Mermail. Um, oh, I guess he could help me with Medusa because I think Medusa was the only one still running. Uh, what's that monster? Oh, Wind Up Zen mains, which was pretty much Corn's easiest targets to take care of. And then later on, he just fell out the meta because everything else could just really take him out. Utopia, alright. Because that combination was hot, and that deck was annoying to deal with. And then all my Synchro Busters, one Black Rose, one Ancient Fairy, one Stardust, one Scrap Dragon, and one Crimson Blader. And Crimson Blader was really good at the time because Crimson Blader was out to dealing with Mermail if they did not make Avistius and Avistius stayed on the field long enough to be an issue. Everybody else here is just his help of subverting cast. Stardust can negate stuff. Ancient Fairy blew up the field spell so that you can search for your field spell. Black Rose blew up the field, and Sky Dragon blew up a card to blow up a card on one side of the field, so you didn't have really much to get over. So that's pretty much it for this old school Harpie deck profile, and I hope you guys enjoy because it was actually a nice little trip through memory lane. So till next time, you guys, this is HPJ signing out. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you soon.